Fine. Many people think that Cassie actually might have been vindicated. I'm gonna tell y'all something though. I spoke to Kid Cudi. I ran out of the courtroom early. I was like, "Yo, how do you feel?" Because he was like, "Yeah, what's up?" I was like, "Yo, how do you feel?" And he was like, "Yo, I think I'm." He was like, listen, I think I'm like, he was like, excuse me? And I was like, you know me. I was like, so are you happy to have this over? And then right then and there, the federal marshals came in and said, shut it down. They were like, that's enough. And then they rushed him on the elevator. And then they told me, like, you wait for the next elevator. And I said, okay, fine. I'm probably going to be talked to after work. But let me just tell you one thing. Kanye West should be ashamed of himself. Kid Cudi was so down to earth, so nice, so sweet, so candid, so confident. I see what Cassie saw. On top of that, he literally wanted us to know that the things Diddy did. Now, prior to Kid Cudi testifying, there was all this stuff about whether they can talk about the dog, because apparently when they broke into his house, and they did break into his house, they took his dog. Other stuff they wanted to talk about was, Brian still did the cross-examine. I'm gonna get into everything. Also, the witness that they gave immunity to, yeah, the vibes were off. The vibes were weird. The vibes were, are you serious? He literally said, and this is the people the prosecution gave immunity to. Kid Cudi did vindicate Cassie. We're going to get into his testimony in a second. But this was the guy that they actually gave immunity to. And he referred to Sean Diddy Combs as a god among men. He said that Diddy not only pushed him to the depths that he didn't know he had, but he helped him push him to the depths and helped him grow as a man, and referred to Sean Diddy Combs as a god among men. A god among men. It was a really uncomfortable testimony, right? It was really, really, really uncomfortable testimony, right? And on top of that, the fact that the testimony was so uncomfortable, but also to the fact of he was almost like a super fan that Diddy had actually hired, okay? He was almost a super fan that Diddy had actually hired. Now listen, let me see what I can do, because I was running out the house today. It was raining, cats and dogs. I have my umbrella. All this stuff happened, but let's actually get into like the actual meat of it, okay? First of all, Kid Cudi's testimony, because that's what you guys came to hear, right? Kid Cudi told a crazy story. He said he received around 5:30 or 6 a.m. A fevered a phone call from Cassie, being like, oh my God, Diddy found out about us. Diddy found out of us. Now, he did say, they were like, how'd you feel? And he's like, I was shocked because I didn't know she was dealing with him anymore. Now, of course, they tried to paint Cassie out as she was a two-timer. She was this, suicide. I will stand firm on this. I don't care how much you say. Why is everybody acting like Diddy is a god among men? I get it. Cassie could have been two-timing Kid Cudi with Diddy. They were on again, off again. Cassie said she wasn't. I'll tell you what, I really don't care. Because since when is two-timing someone? How in the world does that justify blowing up someone's car and breaking into someone's house, okay? So anyway, she gets a thing and she was like, yo, they're in your house. Cudi is like, what? So then Capricorn Clark, the assistant, calls and says, yo, they're in your house. Tonya says, great reporting. I have a lawyer, husband, and son. Okay, tell Esquire said, what's up? So they're like, so then he gets a fever call from Capricorn Clark. Said Capricorn Clark sounds super, super scared. What's up, Daisha Jones? She was like, they were like, yo, they're in your house. So then the prosecution was like, what you do next? And he was like, I called Diddy. They said, where did you get Diddy's phone number from? He said, I'd actually had Diddy's number from years before, right? Just, in the industry. So he calls Diddy. Diddy picks up the phone. They said, what do you say? He said to him, MFer, are you in my house? We all giggled. He was like, MF, are you in my house? Diddy was like, yo, where you at? He was like, MF, are you in my house? He was like, yo, where you at? And he was like, I'm on my way home. And he was like, word, I'll be waiting for you. So Cudi rushed to his house. He gets to his house. Now, he says he has security cameras that are angled on his house at all times. When he got there, the security camera was turned the other way, right? He goes into his house. his dog, and he's very close to his dog. His dog was in the locked in the bathroom, and he lets his dog roam free. He opens the door, his dog comes out, he's acting all scared. Mind you, Brian Steele was trying to limit the testimony about the dog, because he's like, there might be some dog lovers, and I guess they feel like if it's proven that they traumatized Kid Cudi dog, that there would be dog lovers and they would hate Kid Cudi. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so he lets the dog out. His dog is real jittery. His dog is like jumping all over him. Then he said nothing in the house was stolen at all. However, he had bought Christmas gifts for his family. This is around Christmas time. He had bought Christmas gifts for his family from the Chanel store, and those Christmas gifts were open, but nobody took anything. Okay, so that's also very, very, very weird, okay? All right, so he's doing that. Now, he is enraged that people broke into his house. And I get it, because you came into someone's house. Cudi even said at that moment he realized Diddy had crossed the line. At that moment he realized Diddy had crossed the line. Now, he then went to go, he went to go get, no. So in between that, he went and picked up Cassie, because he said Cassie was super scared. He picked up Cassie and he took her, I think, to the Mirage Hotel to keep her safe, right? Now, mind you, he said he was in love with Cassie. He said they had a relationship. He said that even though Diddy tried to make it seem like they fell in love while he bought Cassie studio time, Kid Cudi was very, very quick to say that's not true. That studio time was in the studio time was in 2010. Hold on, it's in New York. Diddy, your ride's here. Anyway, they said, listen, they said that studio time was in 2010. And he was like, in 2010, when we were in the studio, we literally were just really like friends. Like, that was the homegirl. There was absolutely nothing going on in 2010, right? Absolutely nothing going on. Okay, so really quick, also J Mimuna MB said, great reporting, T. Said, thank you so much. Also, Darlene Colbert Turner, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Shanalika Bentoncourt said, I've been listening. Oh, Miss Bentoncourt, I remember Shanika said, I've been listening to Tissa's Truth ever since she stated that Oprah told Fantasia not to bother with Whoopi. Truth warrior. Also, Life Lessons and Lions said, thank you to you. That fool Diddy is going down. Now, hold on, because there was another witness, too, that I don't know if the prosecution should have given him immunity. Peter Hernandez said, thank you, T. That fool Diddy is going down. Oh, also, thank you, B, for deleting that message. Okay, so, where were we? So, Cassie, he picked up Cassie and he took her someplace safe. And then he ran to his house. That's when he went. He found his dog. He was furious. Furious. He was also confused because he was like, I thought this girl wasn't with Diddy. Now, mind you, then he went to go look for Diddy. He went to his car and he was like, yo, where are you at? This and that. And Diddy was like, yo, I'm coming to you. He was looking for him. Diddy still wasn't in the house. Now, mind you, okay, Kid Cudi then said at that time that he said, hold up, let me think about this. He said, I know I'm mad, but I don't know if this fool got a gun. I don't know who's with him. I need to fall back. They said, what'd you do? He said what he should have did. He said, I called the police, and he made a police report. Now, he made a police report. He said the police came over. They logged in the break-in. Again, I'll get to cross-examination in a second, because you know Brian Steele, he was trying to muddy the waters, this and that. Then he said Diddy kept calling him after he called the police. Diddy kept calling him. I was like, we need to meet. So Kid Cudi in his mind was like, I don't got anything to say to you. You crossed the line. You went to my house. You messed with my dog. I literally have nothing to say to you. Get out my face. He was like, Kendrick, I feel good. Get the my face. He was like, get out my face. Okay. Diddy kept calling him, trying to meet up, okay? Now, Philadelphia said, you're killing the game. Make sure you take your vitamins. You cannot get sick now. Exactly. It's too much. I can't turn back now. Okay, so he was like, okay. Diddy kept asking. He was like, man, I don't got nothing to say to you. You crossed the line. Then all of a sudden, he was at his ex-girlfriend's sister's house, okay? And he got a call from his dog sitter. Again, this man loved his doggy, but anyone that's ever had a dog, it's like, yeah, you gotta love your dog. They're like another child. They're like a 3-year-old that never grows up. He said that he got a call from his dog sitter. And the dog sitter was like, oh my God, and sent him pictures of he had a Porsche 911. His Porsche 911 was on fire. Okay, and they showed pictures. It was a Porsche 911. Somebody oh, if you guys don't know, I tried to get the scoop from y'all from Kid Cudi. I actually got in trouble with the U.S. Marshals. I don't think I'm supposed to talk about the witness, but I'm not pressed. So I just said, yo, how was testimony? I got his attention. I woke up late, but I looked good enough to get his attention, so I sauntered over there and like, hey, and he was like, huh, what's up? And he leaned his ear in, and I was like, so how'd testimony go? How'd you think? Blah, 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 blah. And he was about to answer, but the marshal was like, get out, like, that's enough. And I was just like, he rolled his eyes at me so much, and I see him in court all the time. I'm sure I'm going to get lectured. But you know what? You only miss the shots you don't take, okay? So I tried to get an exclusive for y'all, but it didn't actually work. But he was about to answer. And listen, I will say one thing. He was a great, great witness. Super honest, super forthcoming, super everything. Okay, so Leonie say, let's go. Yes, Vision, waiting on you. Okay, so we're back to, he's getting a call from his dog sitter. There is a picture of his Porsche. They cut open the top of his Porsche and threw a Molotov cocktail. That is a bottle they put with fluid and then like, I don't know, t-shirt inside. I remember from seeing it on the Bronx Tale. If y'all ever saw that movie, apparently the racist Italians were throwing Molotov cocktails because there was an interracial couple and they couldn't take it. I saw that movie 4 years ago. I said, wow. Prophetess Aaliyah S. Brew, Body of Christ said, love your coverage. I'm still conflicted on the charges. They definitely should have went for DV, aggravated assault, battery charges. My ex got life for those charges. I think the statute of limitations actually passed on DV, right? But yes, I'm glad that your ex got those charges. The blood of Christ was with you. Okay, so back to the scene. They sent him pictures. The car was whatever. They're like, how do you know it was Molotov? He said, because I saw like the bottle, when he opened it, the bottle fell to the ground. The inside of the interior was all burnt up, okay? It was all burnt up. At that point, Cudi was like, yo, this gotta stop. This is getting out of control. And that's when he called Diddy, and Diddy picked up, and he's like, yo, you gotta meet. We gotta meet. So Cudi was like, all right, let's meet at Soho House. Now, back then, Soho House had meeting rooms on the bottom level. I don't think they have meeting rooms anymore. But back then, Soho House had meeting rooms on the bottom level, right? Okay, bet. Oh, also, Nana said, you're doing a great job. Who was that cutie pie next to you with all the tattoos when you had a white skirt, white top, and saw in a clip with another blogger? Love from Belgium. By the way, my name's Nadia. Coffee on me. Nadia, thank you so much. I only see the truth in the trial. I got a man, so I do not know what cutie pie you were speaking of. I just know my man wasn't standing next to me, and that's the only man I see. Blinders. Okay? Happy said, seriously speaking, take some time out today and pray. Discernment is real, and prayer works better than faith. Thank you so much. Cynthia Miller said, our girl T said, doing it a real life Lois Lane. Tanika Brown said, been with you. What's up, Tanika? Said, been with you 2 years now. But that's Peter coming after Diddy for the dog he traumatized, like he did Cat. Exactly. They tried to get that out. He did traumatize the dog, and he did it on purpose. You are whatever. So Leonie said, sorry, Tapio. Oh, I truly appreciate you for giving this to us. Thank you. Sheila Delphia, welcome to the Tattletale family. Natasha said, for all the doggy lovers. P.S. We're 2 weeks into the trial. Let them build the case. Love watching your report. Been watching since Simon and Portia. Simon is still in ICE detention. Damn, I hope he don't get going to El Salvador. Cash Blue said, you're doing an amazing job out there, friend. Thank you for the awesome coverage. You're welcome. Also, Peter Hernandez said, love you, Tisa. By the way, this was the guy, okay, that fell in. Oh, Peter Hernandez. I'm glad so there was somebody that fell in line, but Peter, I'm glad that you are okay. I was scared for a second. And when he fell in line, people walked over him to get into the courtyard. I said, oh my God, society is not seeing heaven. Oh, also, Chelsea Rager said, absolutely love your energy and entertainment. And Prophetess Aaliyah Brew, thank you for gifting a membership. Okay, so at this point, Cudi is his car. He's looking at his car. His friends and his dog center are sending him images of his car. He rushes home. He sees his burn up car. He's like, this has gone long enough. He called Diddy. Diddy picked up, and he was like, we got to talk about this. They meet at the Soho House. Back then, the Soho House in West Hollywood, had meeting floors on the first room, right? First floor. They go into the meeting rooms. All right, bet, right? He says when he walked in, right? Let me see if I can actually show y'all. Hold on. He said when he walked in, Diddy is sitting there looking out the window like this. Just sit, because they said there's big floor-to-ceiling windows. Diddy is sitting there looking with his hands behind his chest, back, looking out the window. He said like a GD Marvel supervillain. He said that Diddy came in and when he got in, Diddy was already in there and his hands were behind his classmate like he was Lex Luthor or a Marvel supervillain just looking out the floor-to-ceiling windows, okay? Ashley C said, what happened to Aubrey O'Day? Aubrey did not get subpoenaed to testify. Eva Philippa Watson said, you need hot soup tea, so owe me. Oh, thank you guys for looking out. Table Talk with Mimi exclusive said, from content creator. Oh, thank you. You rock too. You guys, make sure you follow. Table Talk with Mimi. Ahmad Hosiery said, hello, I want to, oh, thank you. You want to know me? Thank you, Ahmad, for the gift. I really appreciate it. Also, Lilione said he offered Cudi water 2 times, y'all. Tease the girl. So listen, exactly. So JR Cali Bama Beauty, thank you so much for the super chat. And also Horatius, thank you for the super chat. All right. So, right. So what happened, right? Oh, Openvic said, you're doing an awesome job, Tisa. So he's looking out the window. Floor-to-ceiling one is like a super villain. And they were like, what was he like? And he was like, it was weird. He was so calm. It was super, super weird. Black Sheep 19 said, I want the Wonder Woman hair tells and keeps us updated. Y'all know. Gonna have a Wonder Woman half wig if that's one thing I do. I was running so late today. I'm glad I got out the house. Sweet Tea said, who is next on the stand? Is it the cook? No, it's a janitor. But we're gonna see what he says. Bold and Red said, thanks for the updates. Look forward to them while driving. Okay, so he said Diddy's super, super calm. He ain't know what to think. He's super, super calm, okay? And Diddy offers him water 2 times, but Kid Cudi ain't stupid. And he said, no, thank you. He offered him water the 2nd time. He said, no, thank you. Now, Black Alley Scam Cat said, how do you DNA test fire? So if you guys don't know, right? So then he said that Diddy talked to him, this and that. He said Cassie showed up later, right? And he said he was really disappointed that Cassie was back with Diddy because she had been abused and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And she was basically choosing Diddy. Now, we had the expert testify yesterday about why that happened. Right? But even then, I'm like, why is everybody trying to make like cheating as punishable by death? Because I will stand 100% by this. You cannot cheat on someone that got hoes. You cannot cheat on someone that has a harem. I'm sorry. For anybody that got hoes, you can't get cheated on. You're not in a real relationship because you have hit the default button that we are not in a real relationship. I refuse to go into that thing about, oh, well, you know, he was cheating, but still, yeah, no, and still nothing. I ain't have a real relationship, right? Malika Garrett, thank you so much for the super chat. Linda Walker, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. So Miss Wise Eyes Open said, you're doing an outstanding job, T. Said, thank you for first super chat. I appreciate. Thank you so much, Mama. And Tony B said, keep them coming, Tisa. Okay. So they said they have a talk, right? And, you know, they're talking about like, yo, why'd you do that, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Diddy never denies anything, okay? He didn't deny he wasn't in the house. He didn't deny he blew the car up. So then when they were leaving, Cudi said he grabbed Diddy's hand like this. Like, he grabbed Diddy's hand like, yo, right? And he was like, yo, what's up with my car, right? He was like, what's up with my car? And he said Diddy looked him dead in the eye and kind of smirked and was like, what car? And Cudi grabbed his hand more and was like, you didn't do anything to my car? And Diddy looked right at him and was like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about. And Cudi said he snatched his hand back so quick. And Diddy was like, yo, what was that about? I thought we was cool. And he was like, yo, you acting like you didn't do anything to my car. No, we not cool. And they left it on that. So, oh my God, Bree, thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate that, Bree. Oh, also, Gwendolyn Light said, we'll send you more. Oh, thank you, Gwendolyn. This is more than enough. I appreciate it. We'll send you more when I can. I appreciate your work. You're all I watch now. Thank you so much. Also, Nana7 said, you were walking in the garden. I think it was you. Security, if it's not your man, he can tell me, sweetie, gonna be 50. Wow. He was hot. Can you call me? Okay. Whoever was walking in the garden with me, Nana7, once. Oh, that was security. That was my security. Yes, I was walking in the garden the other day with my security. You guys like the security. I mean, if you want to pay, I'm sure you can pay him to guard you while y'all eat dinner. Anyway, Nana7, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Lady LaRae Zinergy said, started watching you last year. Love your content. Thank you so much. Don't shadow ban me, YouTube. Said 12K viewers and only 1.2K likes. Hit that like. Y'all, can you double tap the screen and like this? I am literally sneaking out. I'm about to get a talking to and lectured from the U.S. Marshals because I was literally trying to get an exclusive with the witness. But he was talking. Tracy Carr, thank you so much for the super chat. And Nikki Stutzman said the audacity to expect exclusivity when you don't provide it exactly. Also, Table Talk with Meaning Exclusive said, thank you for the shout out. You had me at STFU. Oh, thank you. Really quick, 2 more super chats and we're going to get back into the story. Tanaki Brown said the girl that Cudi name dropped, could the feds call her? She's the one that warned him that Diddy was coming. I have it on good authority that Capricorn Clark will be testifying for the prosecution. And she's going to put it all together. Leo Sun I said, Lisa and I said, hey, Tisa, Lynette here. Thank you for bringing us the tea. Oh, thank you. Also, you're pretty and I love your energy. It supports you. Oh, thank y'all so much. And also, Jack, thank you so much. One last super chat, unless y'all send more. I said, let's send Tisa money in our Cash App because YouTube takes half of our super chat money. Love you, Tisa. Thank y'all. Yes, that's a dirty little secret about YouTube. Okay, so what ended up happening, right? Oh, also, the legendary Kind, thank you for gifting a membership. So Kid Cudi was like, he was off of Diddy after that. And he said that Diddy, they actually ran into Soho House years later. And Diddy was his daughter. And he walked up to Kid Cudi and was like, yo, I'm going to apologize. And he was like, apologize for what? He's like, apologize for all that. I was wrong. No, he still never paid him for his car. And Kid Cudi, man, he is such like a zen energy, right? Kanye should be ashamed messing with him because I see now what people were saying, like, why are you messing with? Remember when Kanye West was going after Kid Cudi because Kid Cudi was friends with Pete Davidson, and after meeting Kid Cudi in person, he is such a chill person. He's one of those people that like, why are you messing with him? First of all, he's not a punk at all. He don't give timid energy, but he's that type of person where like he ain't trying to start nothing with anybody. He's just standing in his own energy, minding his business. So the fact that Kanye get up there, I see why all Kid Cudi's fans were like, why are you fucking with Cudi? He don't bother no one. Like, you got a problem, Kanye. And then later on, a couple years later, we found out, yes, Kanye was in fact the problem. Anyway, Kid Cudi was like, after that, oh my God, thank you, Misha Edmonds, for the super chat. Okay, Cash App. So anyway, after that, he said that he let it go because he was like, yo, he apologized. He had let it go. It was years back. And, he doesn't want to live with that type of energy. I said, okay, I see what Cassie saw in him. So what ended up happening after that? So the cross-examiner gets up. Brian Steele of YSL fame starts questioning him. And he was like, well, are you aware that there were female fingerprints? Can it, right? Thank you, Lisa B. Thomas, for the Cash App. I don't know, Cash App is tripping right now. They be thinking y'all donating to a terrorist, and it's just me. Anyway, right? They said that, wait, you know what? Anyway, sorry. So anyway, they said that Diddy, so they were like, yo, are you aware that there was an investigation where they found female DNA that had opened your car and put the Molotov cocktail in? And Cudi was like, I never heard that. And the prosecution was like, objection. We don't know if it is true or not, but that doesn't mean they couldn't have gotten a girl to do it. Then they were like, well, how do you know that Diddy broke into your house? He's like, because 2 people called me and told me it was Diddy. Well, did you see him? No. Were there any fingerprints? No. What happened to that investigation? And he was like, I don't know, but it was Diddy, and he apologized to me about it. He also cleared up the fact that Cassie and him were not messing around when they got studio time. So that means this whole lie that Diddy made up about the reason he blew up Kid Cudi's car is because him and Cassie were cheating after he got to studio time. He said they got in studio time in 2010. This was 2012, and Diddy was off because as much as Kid Cudi was like, yo, Cassie played both of us, Diddy's team already testified that when Diddy threatened to leak a tape and expose her and all this other stuff, they weren't together. That means that when she was with Kid Cudi and stepping out, they were not together. Lena Engel, thank you so much for joining the family. Paige's mama said, girl, you look great today. Thank you for bringing us these facts. Oh, thank you. And Pecan Tan said, hi, Tisa, love your coverage. Keep up the good work. First super chat. Thank you so much. And PB said, Tisa, stay prayed up. This is spiritual warfare going on, my sis. anyone that harms animals is a pure psycho. I completely agree with that. I'm glad PETA is dragging Diddy. Mr. Master Mistake Maker said, you're coughing. Be careful what you drink. Someone might try to poison you. I don't drink anything while I be here. Kendra Curry, thank you so much for the super chat. Alana Jackson, thank you for the super chat. And also, I want to give a shout out to Mimi Lawyer Gore. Said, thank you, Tisa. I've been following you since 2021. So proud to enjoy these Diddy trial updates. Pinky Blackman, thank you for the Cash App. So proud and enjoy these Diddy trial updates, living vicariously through you and your court content. Also, Simone Anissa said, covering you with the blood of Jesus. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so the prosecution was good on, because Brian Still's very good. And he did it. And I get they were trying to do doubt, but come the F out. And you got Cassie telling you Diddy in your house. You got Capricorn Clark, and then somebody's in your house. And also the prosecution was like, have you ever had problems before then? No. And then you see Kid Cudi's interview, he did look like a rock star. He came in with a biker jacket, walking proud. I see what Cassie saw in him. He's very charismatic, you know? And he has a way around him that's very gentle, but not like he's a punk. Just calm, soothing energy, you know? Erica Gabriel, thank you so much for the super chat. He said him and Cassie were in love. He said he really wanted to protect her, and he was mad that Diddy was putting his hands on her, okay? The prosecution was trying to make it seem like it could have been anyone. And Kid Cudi was like, come the F on. It can't be no one. He did say that he's never had a problem. Since then, Diddy was the only thing. And once he ended with Cassie, he never had a problem again. Ingrid Betts, thank you so much for the super chat. B. Will said, great work, Tisa. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And also Bernice Graham, thank you so much for the super chat. Cassie is vindicated. Now, let me tell you why. Because the feds are building layers. I know this is, oh, Cassie must be a hoe because she was cheating on Diddy, a man that was cheating and beating. Again, I will always hold, you cannot be cheated on when you have side hoes, okay? But they're laying it on. Cassie's evidence, Kid Cudi's evidence, and then Capricorn Clark. Because Capricorn Clark, they literally pushed her in a car, from what I'm hearing, and forced her to drive over there to show them where Kid Cudi lived, okay? So she was in the car the whole time, calling, scared, talking about get out of there. Nicodemus says, Tisa, you're so genuine and good at what you do. Thank y'all so much, all right? So then what happened, okay? So that was that, okay? There's other people testifying, but let me tell you where the RICO came over. Diddy's assistant, God, what's his name? That guy, not James, but whatever the assistant is that just testified, I forget his name. All I know him is to be Diddy's super fan. It was the weirdest testimony I've ever seen. When I say weird, I mean weird. Leanne Engel said, killing it, giving us a deets. Now, I left my notes upstairs, but let me just tell you my takeaway. He got on stand and he said that he saw him not only beat Cassie 2 times, but also Gina. He said that with the Cassie stuff, the first time he heard all this glass going, they were on a private jet. He walked into the room. Cassie had her legs up, trying to create space between Diddy. She was on the floor. Diddy had a cut crystal whiskey glass. You know those are heavy, right? In murder mysteries, they kill people with whiskey glasses. And he was throwing it at Cassie while she was on the floor. Cassie, the whole plane was full of Diddy's entourage. Cassie screamed, does anybody see what's going on here? Everybody ignored it. He said he felt so bad, but they're like, why didn't you do anything? And he was like, because I was young. I was like, at the time of my life, Diddy was a god among men. And that's the first time I said, there's something wrong with this man. Diddy was a god among men. What are you talking about? Anyway, Blue Sunshine said, great work, Tisa. Thank you so much. Also, Life is Notorious said, only the incels and envious pick-me's are on Diddy's side. And people may be paid off. I'm just saying, Diddy's team is making inroads with that media access. I'm just saying. Hey, how are you, Mama?
Hey, to bring you something because I know.
Hold on, really quick. Well, say hi.
Hi. I've been following you, trying to come out here every day.
Oh, thank you.
I know your fans been telling you about how you hold your phone and they dizzy.
Yeah.
I bought this for you.
What'd you get me? Oh my God, what's your name, Mama?
Melissa.
Look, Melissa. Y'all shamed her into helping me. Lenora Jackson said, you rock, Tisa. Thank you so much.
I got this for you,
oh
Tisa,
my
so
God.
you can hold it. I want you to hold
Mama,
it.
Thank you
I don't
so
want you
much.
like that.
I really appreciate it. Look what she got me, you guys. Oh, thank you so much.
Let me get you something hot to drink. I'll go to Starbucks and get
I'm
it for you.
about to. I'm
You
about
sure?
to go back in. But
All
thank you
right.
so much. Message me on Instagram so we
I-
can follow
I-
each other.
I will,
I
for
really
sure.
appreciate you.
Do you want me to set that up for you while you hold it?
No.
All right.
I'm gonna curse them out because they always embarrassing me.
Yeah,
Don't
but
tell
you're doing your
me.
work. I
Thank
really
you
love
so
you.
much. Oh my! And what was your name again, Mama?
Melissa.
Melissa.
New York loves you.
Oh, thank you. Look what Melissa got me. Y'all literally had shamed me into getting this. Wow, but thank you, Melissa. All right. Alexia said the prosecution lost me a bit with Dawn Richards. Okay. So no, Dawn Hughes. I was in the courtroom. Dawn Hughes had the jury like this. That was the SMEX expert. Okay. All right. This is so much love. Melissa, thank you so much. So all y'all talking about Tisa, why you holding the phone in your hands? Dawn has got me right. The next commercial break, we will have this, okay? Also, Janae Humphrey said, oh my gosh, we have to get Cudi here with you. I'm going to try. Now, I left out the house looking a mess, but when I said, excuse me, he leaned in to see what I had to say. You know, I said, I ain't Cassie, but baby, I can get your attention. Anyway, right? Beatrice Aguayano said, thanks, teacher, for all the updates. You are amazing. You guys give so much love to Melissa. This was so sweet of her to do. So sweet. All right. Also, Naomi Violet said, love all that you do, you bring it. And Via Men said, love you, Tisa. Keep up the good work. Also, Cher Mayo said, Tisa, you're the best. Love you, girl. Thank y'all. Okay, so listen, right? You think I'm not? Please. And y'all see my Instagram. He might be curious about like the interview, you know? Got a few beach pics there. Anyway, y'all, follow me on Instagram if you're not. Okay, so let me get back to it because I got to go into the room. So anyway, this guy said that he was so traumatized. Oh, he said the second time he saw Cassie, Diddy called him into the room and Cassie was sitting there whimpering with her hands over her face. And Diddy had him go to CVS to get some stuff that takes swelling down her face because she had a huge black knot on her forehead and all this other stuff. And he said he was so shaken by it. He said, and again, he said he was shaken by what he saw, especially with the whimpering and stuff. But here's the thing. Y'all want to know what the RICO is? And I talked about this with James. A lot of people think RICO is bodies on the ground, blood on the walls, murder, right? No. RICO in modern times is very boring. It's very unsexy. It's very one corporate charge after another. One commingling of funds. He said that for the stuff that he used to fix Cassie's face, right? He literally had used his corporate card to pay for it. Combs Global Corporate Card. What does that mean? I know y'all think it's unsexy. I know a lot of people think it's not the smoking gun. It is. Again, they're building the foundation. By using that corporate card to buy things to help hide Diddy's abuse of Cassie, you have now commingled funds. You've shown that even if you use $1, you are using your corporate funds to actually cover up. On top of that, when it comes to forfeiture, and federal forfeiture is if you're found guilty of the RICO, they get to take anything you used in furtherance of the criminal organization. That charge for witch hazel and a bunch of like first aid stuff. Isn't it funny that Diddy had stripper heels? Diddy had, was he wearing them himself? Diddy had lube. Diddy had this. Diddy had like a whole pharmacy of illegal narcotics in his house. But Diddy never had anything for people to deal with the face, right? Anyway, that is enough to pull Combs Global into the forfeiture and make sure that if he's found guilty, they are getting nothing. Black Anonymous said, get some hot tea with honey and lemon. I ran out the house so late, I actually forgot my jacket. On top of that, Lenore Jackson said, you are killing it. And, hold on. Table Talk with Mimi exclusive said, I studied law, but I've learned so much from you. Oh, thank you, Table Talk with Mimi. Okay. He then said that he saw a scene where he walked in and Diddy was throwing apples at Gina super hard, like super hard. And he said he disturbed them. They were like, why? He's like, because I've never seen such anger, such venom. It was just very disconcerting. And then he was asleep that night because he fell asleep by the guard post. He was asleep that night and he heard Gina and them screaming. And they were like, was it called a terror? Or was Gina trying to get out? And he was like, I couldn't distinguish between the two. So Gina was also screaming bloody murder out in the driveway of Diddy's mansion, right in Star Island. He said what he saw was so disturbing that he then told KK that he's not going to do this anymore, right? And he quit. even though he said it was the time of his life. So then Mark Agnifalio gets on and he's like, so you love Diddy, like, you know, it's the time of your life. And then this guy launches into a super fan thing about how Diddy is a god among men. Diddy told him everything he knew. It was the most rewarding time of his life, the time he was most proud, the time he would do anything. Listen, Funky said, Tisa, get the 3 mental cough drops. They'll help you as you're working overtime. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it, right? He said that Diddy was a god among men. He said he loved working with Diddy. He inspired him. He said he pushed him not just to his personal deaths, but his deaths to what it meant to be a man. He said that he helped him grow into a man. He literally gave a 30-minute, really weird love letter to Diddy. And it really highlighted the way that, like, you can honestly, how can you see someone that terrorized you so much by what you saw their horrors that you quit because you just felt so bad about what he was doing to women, but you're also screaming how he's the best thing ever and the way they celebrate and this and that. I will say one thing, Diddy was very, very good at picking people that had a certain mentality. And I said, I need to read this HR book. Hey, what's up, Dimby? Thank you so much for the Cash App. Chelsea Rager said, the judge is back. Okay, listen, you guys, let me go upstairs. It's over. But maybe I need to read Diddy's PR book. I need to get a Tattletale army to help me grow this channel. Maybe Diddy has something, right? Ty said, I'm kind of disappointed hearing the folks talk yesterday. I'm a black woman and it's important to protect black men at all costs. And yes, Diddy is the tip of the iceberg. Exactly. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Exactly. This is not a black man problem, Diddy. This is a you problem. Anyway, Linda Braithwaite, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, you guys, listen, I gotta go upstairs. I gotta see what the judge is up to. I'll be down in about an hour to give y'all more updates. In the meantime, I'll have my notes. I'll be down in an hour, and then when the court ends at 3, I'll be here on the court steps going live with this handy dandy little stand that Melissa got me. All right, y'all, let's get into